Hey everyone, my name is Pascal, and I'm a Rails freelancer, and this is my series on getting better at Rails. And today I'm going to be looking straight at Tailwind. So I'm already comfortable with CSS and doing all kinds of layouts already, but I wanted to get good at Tailwind more specifically because I'm using this kit called Bullet Train, and latest version has Tailwind in it, and it's kind of popular. And I didn't want to be shy about it. I didn't want to say, well, if I don't know it enough, um, uh, like I'm not going to be able to be quick in a project that already has Tailwind. So I wanted to get better at that portion. Over the series, I got more comfortable writing tests and more like writing tests more automatically. For me, when I make a new feature, I think about the tests and I can write them more easily. It's more at the tip of my fingers. Now, all these things that I wanted to have at the tip of my fingers, I have. Um, and now Tailwind is the part that I'm going to be working on, and I think next time might be related to writing locale files or internationalization strings to be quicker at just defaulting to writing all of my strings, all of my text for my interface straight into the locale files. So I think that's going to be next time. So now I'm building this little app that is well, let's see. I don't know if it's going to be I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I'm building it. I'm building it anyways because it's kind of like a premise to a premise to learning Rails. So I put this up together, and it's a little app to help two people read a book together at the same ish time. They don't have to be at the same chapter to be able to discuss it. It kind of lets you share your reactions and see your friends' reactions um, at the same place in the book. And the way that it does that is by following and by keeping count of the progress in the book, the page number, and the percentage of where you're at in the book. So once you're at the same place or further, you can see your friends' notes from up to that point. So you don't have any problems with divulging, some insights further up in the book and say, "Oh, I'm not there yet," kind of thing. That's kind of the idea. But I want to also take a shot at seeing if people are going to be buying this app. And there's only a few use cases that I've identified that people might be willing to pay for something like this. And so the two things are, if people want to sell a product to their audience, but they don't want to invest a ton of time right now, so they can, if they read a lot, they can sell their access to their reading notes. And for people who are in a life transition and they decided that they want to get more thoughtful, they want to change the way they think to be better adjusted to the world, see things in a way that's going to help others around them. Basically, they want to learn. It's time for them to start learning. That maybe reading a book might be one option, but maybe reading a book with somebody else and purchasing reading notes of somebody else and having as if you're reading the book with me, maybe that's going to be something that they'll purchase. So I'm not going to invest too much effort in the UI of the app right now. Maybe I'm going to replace the logo, but it's fine if my first version of the app is going to look like this. But what I want though is that the sales page be reflective. So I'm going to have two sales pages, one for selling my notes to the book that I'm reading right now, and also the homepage of the app. I think I'm going to call this Read With, and the page looks like something like this. At the top, you got one of my reading notes, and then the pitch, the invitation to read it with me, and let's see how it works. And I'll have more further down. So that's basically the idea. That's what I'll be working on, focusing on the landing page. So here we go. How to do this with Tailwind. There's a few things that are already, I've already got a few things up. It doesn't look so great. It's not, I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to do the responsive bit about that. And well, it's okay, but there's a few problems with it. One of them is that everything is sort of aligned over here. This is kind of the line to the left. And I would like by default the stuff to be aligned to this imaginary line. So I'll take out a guideline here. So let's say I've got these blue guidelines here, and I want to see if those two lines on each side could be my default, and then everything sort of hangs off of that. And so normally when you do stuff in Tailwind, when you do stuff with CSS, you don't have pages that kind of look like this. You have containers, and you have blocks, and then it looks blocky. I want to basically move out of that mold, and I want it to have something that looks edgy, different. And so this is how I'm going to go. So let me plan out a little bit how I'm going to do this. I'm going to have this sort of container here to be the default width of everything. So that's going to be so that's going to be kind of the main width of my stuff. And then I'm going to use negative margins on the right and on the left. And these negative margins are going to help me. So I don't have them perfectly well positioned here, but bear with me. And so these negative margins are going to be my way of achieving this. This thing has a less of a negative margin than this big box. The padding is going to be compensating. So I know with Tailwind, it works with a lot of like math and spacer math. So for example, spacing, margin. So, we got like 2, 8. You've got all these sort of multipliers and numbers, and like MT is margin top, or ML would be margin left. ML8 is equivalent to 888. Can't remember the sizes by heart. Sizing. So it's all a multiple of 0.25 rems. Yeah, exactly. So it goes up quite a lot. So you just got to find the right multiplier, and then be able to do this. So once I'll have that, I'll be able to see, well, this is equivalent to so many, of those units of 0.25 rems. 4 of them makes 1 rem, etc. So I'll go with that, and that should be good enough. Over here, so I'll have this one big container, and things are going to hang to the left of this. Now, to achieve these backgrounds, I sort of like go all the way to the edge of the page. Then I might do something else. I might restrict how wide they are. I might make the pink thing, max width. I'm not really sure what I'm going to be doing yet. regardless, I want to achieve this part here, and see over here you got like a kind of a box that sort of like cuts through the background in order to avoid having backgrounds over top of text. So that's another box here. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. To achieve this thing here, whereby like this background is interesting because it really spills out of the container. And the way to do that is, one of the ways to do that is you have a box that's centered, and there's a way to do it. It's centered, and there's a width of the whole viewport, and it's centered right over here, and the negative left is pushed left so many percent and right so many percent. Anyways, so there's a way to do to achieve this while still being found inside of this box here. So all these things are from CSS, but I'm going to be advancing on the Tailwind side as I go. So this part here is going to be interesting. Over here, I know that I'm going to have a wider box. This box is going to be wider. And it's going to have 2 cells in there. 2 flexbox cells, basically. One there, and the other one there. So this one and that one is going to be 2 cells. So that's going to be 1 row. There's going to be another one below. And at the same time, the whole thing has to have negative margins. So again, the negative margins are over here. Margin, basic hues, negative values. I'm going to be using negative ML. To use negative scroll margin value, prefix a class name with a dash to convert it to a negative. What's the scroll? Scroll. You set the scroll offset around items within a snap container. Oh yeah, okay, a snap. That's not what I want. I just want margin. This is it. Okay. So here we go. So first, let's open this up in my editor. Let me put something up on Twitter. Oh no. Okay. So this whole thing, inside show, I think this whole thing could be right here. I could probably define that container, and I don't know how this works exactly. We'll see. Ugh. Okay, that's nice. It's not bad, huh? So MX auto, I'm assuming that's going to center it. Yep. All right. Now, let's see. If I go PX8, that's going to be 2 rems. So 16 is 4. Let's try that. Now I'm going to put a background on here just so I can BG black 05. Is that going to work? Okay, so my colors aren't working as well as I'd liked. Okay, so that's kind of it's kind of wide. Maybe if I go MX16 also. No, because I've got my margin auto. Okay. Now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to wrap them together into this other div. And this div here is going to have another PX16. And let's see. So if I go like this, that's more like it. I'm going to make this pop out to the left a little bit. So I've got P20. Huh. That explains it. I'm going to go M16. Like this. So that pops out. Now my text is aligned this way. So I'm going to increase this by going 32. Is that a good measure? That's 16. 32 will bring me around here. 40. Minus 40. That's good. Now I'm gonna over here. Now this is going to go 40. That's not good enough. Okay, this should be X. And the top and bottom should be 16. What if I remove this and that? What if I remove these ones? And I go, I've got a padding of 40. And in this case, I'm, okay, yeah, 40 it is. 16. But I need some padding over here. Padding X of 40. How about this? Let me inspect this. Padding left, padding right, margin top, bottom. So I've got my negative margins okay. And this one is like this. Okay. I think there's also the problem of the collapsing margins. And I think this is what's causing it. So because these objects here don't have any margin, they don't respect the negative margin the same way, and it kind of pushes everything to the left. So if I add them back in, see how, so I'm going to refresh this. Now this is properly aligned right here. Now if I remove that, this is aligned here. Now, okay, now over here, all I've got to do is I've got to make this pop out. Yes, that's what I got to do. Okay, so both of these things should be now removed or moved to the left. And it should have a negative margin left of, let's go with 16. I don't know what it is. So it's not quite enough, but it's close. So let's go with 20. This is going to be something else. So I'm pretty close and I like it. This part here, this part here, this is it. 20, how about 24? Ooh. Is that another rem? So that's going to be 28. Is that too much? It's too much. Oh no. It doesn't exist. 26 doesn't exist. So I've got to make sure that my math over here is correct. Because I've got 4. I've got this thing at the top. This thing here, which pushes, 6 plus 20, that's 26. So that doesn't work. So maybe if I go 14 over here. So that's 14. So how about I go like this over here? This thing. Okay, so that's P6. Margin left of 20. Minus 6. Does that work? 14? That works. Okay, we're good. Now I'm going to go back up here. So let me just, I have to make sure I remember these. ML20, it's going to be ML14. Over here is going to be 14 as well. So how about this now? Boom. Okay, that's aligned. Sweet. There might be a few things I need to switch around, like these widths and things. It's good, but basically, if I add more paragraphs here, and I add here's some more text. Let me just grab this note and everything is going to be aligned like this. And the width, though, the width is kind of iffy. So I'm not sure what makes this width bounded, but I don't dislike it. But max, okay, this is it. Yeah, okay. So if I remove this width, it's going to go full width. Yeah. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. So I've got a way to do this. I've got a way to have these blocks, and I know the math of the margins, the left and right margins. I can tweak it. I basically, when I do a design, I don't try to go pixel perfect. This is just a first draft, just to lay out some design inspiration. But I strongly believe in this idea that the limits of the implementation will inform my design. And so this is basically just a first draft. I'm going to play with it, and I'm going to align my stuff that way. I will keep the sort of left, right of these, these notes, because that's how I'm going to display them in the app anyway. Left and right, like a bit like chat bubbles, except they're notes. And so I'm gonna be doing that. Now, this morning I played a little bit with different typography, and I'm going to be putting that typography in Tailwind. I'm not too excited with what I've got right now. It's in a good direction, but I don't like. I can't say I like it too much. We'll see. And so that's. I think that's going to be wrapping it up for now. The layout is going to be mostly left aligned. That's how I like to make my landing pages, so that the eye scans in a single direction. And I'm going to be I'm going to be building on that skeleton, that like basically that container that's in the middle, that certain width, that everything is going to hang off of that, and that's going to be my plan. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. Next week, I'm probably going to be doing some locale files. Okay, and just lastly, if you are struggling with the stimulus problem and you don't want to make that your priority, you don't want to build that expertise, you just want somebody else to fix that problem for you. Maybe it's third-party library that doesn't work well with stimulus, or maybe it's the fact that there's a specific kind of interaction that you'd like to make, but you can't do it, and you don't want to become the expert in making this work. then give me a shout over 2 days. We can help. I can help you out back and forth over 2 days. My part-time availability to help you get moving on that problem for a fixed price. So check out stimulus.pascal.works. And on Thursday I have another. On Thursdays I have another live stream, and that one is about buyer psychology and crafting the words of a landing page. And that one's on Thursdays at 11 Eastern. And that one's about buyer psychology. And I hope you can make it. That one's on Twitch. Thanks, everyone. See ya.